sometimes you won't reap the benefits of what you've done. But, sometimes it's the people that come behind you that understand that, hey, his whole life was created towards helping and bettering what we're doing.
You are now listening to the BV Mobile Apps Podcast. The show is designed to help you grow your mobile app audience and get advice from experts in your industry. Now, here's your host, Sean Garvey.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to another special edition of the BV Mobile Apps Podcast with the architect here, Sean Garvey. Thank you for tuning in. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to stay tuned. We're going to give you information on how you can get your app customized through BV Mobile Apps Podcast. If you are interested in getting your app customized and if you want that fancy look to come along with it, stay tuned. We're going to give you information and all the details that you need. On today's podcast, we are going to talk about how to build your own multimedia company from the ground up. And I am so glad to have this gentleman on the line. He is a business owner and he is also a very great and talented media mogul who has been doing it for a long time. His multimedia company specializes in radio, magazine publications, promo models, and he characterized his company as an entertainment management company. And we're going to talk about all that and more. I would like to introduce to you Kevan, Mr. Konnected Glover. Good day, Kevan. How you doing today?
Man, I'm all right. So I appreciate y'all having me on the show.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak to us today about how to start your own multimedia company. Now, people compare you, and you have a very interesting story, a very interesting backstory. People tend to compare you to icon Russell Simmons. And I am here just thinking about all the other icons like Russell Simmons that had to start from the ground up to get to where they are at now. So let's start off by talking about your backstory. Where did you originally come from at first, and how did you get the name Mr. Konnected?
Oh, man, I was born in Buffalo, New York. So I think I used to play basketball. I was real good in basketball. And but, we used to party, nightlife, and all that different stuff. And, when I moved down to Charlotte in 2000, just wanting a different change in scenery. You're somewhere for so long, you kind of outgrow certain markets. And we came down here, it was a fresh new market. And it was really no nightlife. It was no showcases, no internet radio shows, no magazines and all that type stuff. So, I just was forward thinking and just saying, hey, I'm in Charlotte, it's a growing city, a lot of money out here. I just was forward thinking and saying, hey, let's start this now, 15 years ago, where we just wanted to have a stronghold on what we were able to control, because a lot of times those major media radio stations, they cost so much and they don't really turn back around when you spend that money. So I wanted to, be something with the Konnected where we weren't too big for the indie, but not too small for the mainstream, and, just that perfect blend.
Your company specializes in radio, magazine, promo models, etc. And in just a few moments, we're going to talk about the particulars and the logistics of all of that in regards to building your own company. But what made you want to get into the business of marketing, promoting, and being that full-fledged circle of all things considered entertainment? Because you could have been a lot of things coming from New York. You could have been an attorney, you could have been a doctor, or you could have done other things in the entertainment industry like becoming an artist, since you work alongside with artists and DJs. But what was it about this profession that gravitated you to it?
Man, one of the biggest things when I moved down here, I had a friend I grew up with. He went to Johnson C. Smith, and but he rapped, but he was hip hop. Moving down to the South, it's more the trap type stuff or other stuff. But I seen when he used to go out to these places, he didn't really get a good response because it just wasn't what they were accustomed to. So I was like, hey, well, we'll create something where we could kind of get our type of crowd to come out and enjoy it. And it started, going from just that showcase to we started doing tours, taking artists on tours. And I was like, hey, well, we need something to be able to play them on. That's when we went to the internet radio station. And then we do a big event out here called the Queen City Awards, which is an event where we have gospel, hip-hop, rock, country, R&B, all those different genres. And the money from that goes towards our scholarship program. So it was just more or less like, I like when you play basketball, you use that competitive spirit. So that was just a way to just keep going, keep growing. And I seen other things that weren't here. So it was kind of easy. Atlanta, I got a lot of stuff going on down there, and that's why a lot of people want to come down there. But Charlotte, when I first came down, they didn't have all that stuff. So it was just more or less filling voids. But it was really that spark of my boy with him rapping and not being able to get that love reciprocated when he went to those venues. And we just wanted to create something of our own.
I'm looking at the photos in front of me of people that you have connected, keyword connected with, and shook hands with in the industry. Tell the listeners who are some of those entertainers and artists that you had the pleasure of shaking hands with or connected with throughout your journey in the entertainment industry.
Oh, man, we work with French Montana, EPMD, Scarface, we got Kim Kardashian. We actually doing something right now with Mr. Chief from the Lost Boys. Pretty much, anybody. The baby is somebody who came from our network of people as far as with the Queen City Awards, winning 3 years in a row. It was dope. He won 3 years in a row with our award show. Then when we retired him, the very next year he won with the BET Awards. So pretty much anybody, in the industry as far as that, we kind of rub shoulders with, because, like I said, we are a marketing company, and a lot of people don't have those major marketing dollars anymore. So they tend to go towards the smaller companies that have a good reputation to work with.
Mm-hmm. Once again, the company is called The Konnected and is owned and operated by this great entrepreneur that I have on the telephone lines, Kevan, Mr. Konnected Glover, right here on the BV Mobile Apps podcast, if you are just tuning in. Now, let's talk about how you built the entire house, which of course is the Konnected, is the company name. Let's start off with the blueprint of actually putting this into fruition and executing it. People want to know, how did you get the capital to make all of this happen? Because when it comes to starting out your own business or your own company, you have to have resources and you have to have capital to make things happen. Like, how did you get the capital, the money to invest into this business?
Basically what I did is at that time when I first started out, I had a paint and home repair company, and I was working a regular job. So in North Carolina, it's a work-free state, and it's just divine with God how it happened. It's a work-free state, so I come into work one day, and the manager tells me that I'm no longer needed. And I just remember being in the room where everybody was looking at me, talking, kind of like, oh, why are you getting fired? And I said I would never give anybody the opportunity to be able to control whether I eat or not again. And I had to paint the home repair company. That's when Katrina had hit. So FEMA was supposed to be giving us a lump sum of money for doing a lot of painting, whatever, but they ended up not doing it. So we had to bankrupt that company, and I just went full throttle as far as throwing parties. So the parties was one way that we was able to really raise monies to be able to put into the marketing side. And once you get, the buzz going with the marketing side, now you got people wanting to get marketing with you, put their mixtape release parties or CDs together, and we created so much buzz, just starting the promotion side, that we were meeting those celebrities now, and those celebrities seeing what we were doing. And, French Montana, I give him credit, because right before he blew up, he came down here for a meet and greet, and he told me, hey, if you let me get the cover of the magazine, I'll do a free show for you. And literally like a month later, he blew up, but he still held his word and was able to do that free show, and that was one of the ways that we really got some of our capital together as well.
We try, what we do as entrepreneurs, Kevan, is that we try to encourage people that in order for you to start your own business, you have to save money. You have to make sure that you save as much as you can, but also put together a budget of what's coming in and what's going out. But elaborate more on the budgeting aspect when it comes to building your own company or building your own multimedia entertainment company like yours. What does the budget look like, and why is it so important for people to put together a budget as business owners?
Yeah, you have to have that blueprint of what you're going to do, and it definitely does take money to start out with these type of companies, because it's all a gamble, and most people are not going to help you out in the beginning until it's something successful. Like I said, everybody wants to ride in the car, but nobody want to push it. So you have to definitely save that money up where it could be. Like when we started out with the radio station side, we were doing online radio, so that wasn't a very big budget. That was like $4,000 that we had to kind of save up to be able to get all that going. And then once we got that going, okay, now this magazine, this is another $15,000. So we had to make sure that and that was every 4 months. So we had to make sure that we consistently had that coming in, whether it be advertising, because even if we fall short with $8,000 worth of advertising, we still have to put that out because we have to eat that cost, because we didn't do what we were supposed to do on our side as far as getting advertising. And I tell everybody when they start out, don't invest any money that you can't lose, because it's possible that 100% of it can be gone, because ain't nothing guaranteed in this business. So work that 2 jobs, eat the ramen noodles and hot dogs, and save your money up, because once it comes to fruition as far as the money's turning in the green, you'll definitely appreciate that struggle and the budgeting that you did, because now once you get actually some money, you won't go crazy, because you'll understand how to use it and what it took to actually get that money.
Now, do you have someone on your team that handles the budgeting or puts together the budget, or do you do that yourself? I know for me as a business owner, I do 90% of everything, including budgeting. But do you do that, or do you have a team member that handles the budgeting aspect?
Man, you gotta always kind of do your own budget, so to speak, especially when it's coming out of your, whether it be pocket or company or whatever, because that's where a lot of people kind of fall, letting somebody else run that money and them not seeing where it's going. And next thing you know, you bankrupt or the company is in danger, because you kind of, and it's all right to trust people, but to a certain extent, and so, if 2 or 3 bad months, it can mess up a whole company.
And at times it is all about the right type of accountant you have within your company. You don't want to just have anybody or any unreliable accountant on your team that could mess up everything financially for your business.
Hey, ain't no accepting my bad when you're an accountant.
Kevin, Mr. Konnected Glover on the Telephone Lines BV Mobile Apps podcast, giving you some great information about how to start your own multimedia company. Now, outside of budgeting and outside of the capital aspect, of course, is a business proposal. And a business proposal is written document of how you want this business to be executed, what your business about, what type of demographics you are looking to attract to your business, and so forth. A business proposal, is it needed or is it not needed? And if it is needed, what are the logistics behind putting together a business proposal for your company?
Yeah, I believe the business proposal is needed because I know everybody doesn't have that clear vision of what they want to do and how they're going to get to it. So even if you're not necessarily pitching it to anybody, you still need to get your thoughts written down as to the structure on what you're going to do and how you're going to get to that ultimate goal of wherever you're trying to reach. Freestyling and trying to see, it's going to be real rough. If you could sit there and write a plan out, hey, this week I'm going to be doing this, this month I'm going towards that, okay, by the end of the year, need to have this accomplished. It'll definitely help you a lot more as opposed to just trying to go off the top and hope this work, hope that work. You know, you're planning to fail if you don't sit there and write everything down. Like I say, even if you don't pitch it to anybody, you need to know that you have a clear structure on what you're trying to do, because that's going to help the other people that see you moving want to be a part of what you have going on, because you're making it and they see the progression of what you're doing, because it has to be contagious, especially if you don't have a big budget starting out. People going to have to believe in you. So they're going to have to really see things getting better and things growing for them to stay next to you.
Does a business proposal have to be anywhere between, like, let's say, I'm just going to throw a number out there, anywhere between 10 to 20 pages? Does it have to be that long, or can it just be less than 10 pages and just get your point across under 10 pages?
It just depends on how long-winded you are, or whatever, how long your thoughts are. You know, when I did mine was like 40 pages.
Wow.
You know, so it was just me getting the stuff out there and then just keep going. So like, even like now, I'm still not all the way where I want to be from where I started with my business proposal. So I still have another company to create that I was thinking about, 15 years ago. But that's just part of the process, because you can't just keep creating a whole bunch of different companies. They have to be successful and make sense to create the next one.
Do you mind? Do you mind if I ask you really quick what all is included in a business proposal? I know I've seen plenty of business proposals previously and in the past where they show you an outline of what your goal is or what your goals are, and graphs of how many people have the potential to listen or gravitate to your product. What other things can a person look for in a business proposal?
I mean, you got like say your budgeting, your plan, your capital, who you're trying to attract, who your competition is, your 5-year goal, how, even if you're going towards an investor, how can they make their money back? Because they definitely want to know, if I give you $10,000, how am I going to be to make my money back? Because one of the biggest things is definitely knowing your competitors, and that's where a lot of people kind of don't put in the business proposal. They got to know who they're actually competing against, especially in their market. What else? It'll be something that kind of is real big in there. Where the money is coming from, because some people just say, if you already have $40,000, they want to know where that money came from as well, so they're not getting into it with some shady type of person, whatever, who's putting that money up, and they're putting their legal company on there as well. So you have to show where you got whatever monies that you have as well when you're going to the bank. And some people go to the bank, more or less for a partnership, to be able to get some of the money to push them over the top. They may have $100,000 already, and they want to know where that money came from as well.
I want to go back just a little bit to the capital aspect when it comes to investing in a company. Now, business loans, I've seen companies and business owners before in the past take out business loans, or they go to a bank and take out of a loan, or try to apply for a grant to help finance or provide the financial backing for that company. Is that a good idea to take out a business loan, or to go to a bank and take out a loan to start your own business?
If you're going to take out a business loan, you definitely have to know that business is going to work, and also have your business structured the right way, so if it doesn't work, it doesn't affect you personally as far as your personal credit. You look at like a lot of, just say even like our President Donald Trump, he's bankrupt so many different businesses, but he was able to keep his stuff because he knew what chapters to file on the bankruptcies, and it wasn't under his personal name. Because I know a lot of times with us minorities, we don't have our business in order. So when it does come back the wrong way, it kind of messes up our personal as well. There's nothing wrong with getting a loan from the bank. But like I said, if you're going to get that loan from the bank, you definitely want to write out that proposal so you can see, without a shadow of a doubt in your mind, that you're able to pay that money back, so that way that doesn't screw up what you have going on long term.
Right. People want to see a return in the investment with interest at times. So so that's definitely understandable. The Konnected, let's talk about it. The Konnected, it is all things considered radio, magazine, promo models, etc. Let's talk about the radio, because you did mention a few moments ago that you did the internet radio first and you saw how it turned out, and you went on to take the company to the next level. Now, with the radio aspect, what does the radio department in the Konnected, what does that provide to people who want to be a part of the Konnected, whether it's potential clients or just fans or followers of the Konnected? What does the radio department of the Konnected provide?
Well, we provide, good music, not the same 12 songs that you would hear on, regular radio, so to speak. So we provide, a variety of music. One, we have a lot of dope shows right now. I think we have 14 shows throughout the week on our radio station. We got different giveaways. We do a lot of different things in the community. So we sponsor a lot of different proms or class graduations and things of that nature on behalf of the radio station, whatever, so that way we continuously be in the community. Because that's one of our biggest things as well, is making sure we give back to our community, so that way we're a true people and true station of the community. And also with our radio station, it's clean, just like you will listen to on, regular radio. I know that's a stigma sometimes with some online radio stations, that is, dirty. But with our radio station, we give the person who may not be on the regular radio station the opportunity to be on radio, whether it be a radio personality, a DJ, an artist who's trying to get his stuff together to be on a FM radio station. We provide that different consultation as well, so that way, hey, when you come here, you're supposed to have this in order. Where's your EPK? You have your clean version. You have this. You got your codes or anything. Is it ASCAP or BMI certified? Because a lot of artists don't know that as well. So we sit down and get them prepared to actually be on the radio station as well.
Now, you mentioned EPK. What does that stand for, and what is an EPK?
An electronic press kit. So something that can be emailed out. Some people have it where, they have their videos in there. It kind of is a summary of what you've done, your discography, videos, your bio, the social media. So it's a nice package that you would send to somebody if they were interested in booking you, or something that you would send to somebody to get interested in booking you. That's
something for not just only established artists, but also for upcoming independent artists.
Yeah, everyone should have that. Even one sheet. So you're doing business, you should have one. Hey, this is what our company does. Hey, you're a model, you should have one. So anybody really trying to do any type of business and want people to know what they actually do, I would advise them to get one, because, like I say, it's a very nice template that you can send to somebody to catch their attention.
Now, I work in terrestrial radio, and when it comes to music airplay, when artists submit their music, they have to abide by the FCC rules and regulations when it comes to getting their songs heard on the radio. And for the most part, that means that there cannot be any type of profanity nor cussing in those songs. But when people, especially independent artists, when they think of internet radio, they're thinking, oh, they don't need a clean version from me. I can just send them an uncensored version of the song. So does your company, The Konnected, when it comes to radio airplay, do you require artists to submit a radio-friendly song, or both a radio-friendly / uncensored song, or do they have to just be radio-friendly?
Has to be radio-friendly, because my job is to get you to the next level. So if I'm letting you submit a dirty song to me, I'm not helping you out, getting you to that next level, because you're not understanding that you can't play the cursing song on a regular radio station. So that's what we try and do, is prepare the artists for that next level. And we get a lot of backlash because there's a lot of online radio stations who don't care. They just want the artist money or whatever. They let them send in the dirty versions. It makes it easier on them. My job is I want the more polished artists that, one day is going to be blown up and doing something that can come back and say, hey, that company helped us out, as opposed to just a little trap artist who just going to go to the strip club, ain't going to want to do nothing with their soul, but just say they was on the radio stage. That doesn't help any of us out in growing.
Now, the other thing, too, is payola. Payola is a familiar term to a lot of people, especially artists who have gotten their songs or music played on the radio. Does any of those practices occur within your company on the radio side?
Man, payola's still going a lot with a lot of people from what I hear. They just more or less put different terms on it now, I guess. But like I say, you should never be paying anybody directly for, getting radio play, because that is illegal. But most people get you with getting different marketing packages, so you're not necessarily paying for the radio spins. You're paying for the promotion of you on those different stations.
And that's the radio side of the Konnected. And so for any artists that want to submit their music and potentially get heard on the Konnected, on the radio division, what is the protocol or the standard procedure when doing so? Because you mentioned artists have to submit an electronic press kit and what have you, but what is the actual protocol?
Yeah, what they do is they go on our website, thekonnected.net, and they can submit right through the actual website what they're trying to do. Even we have it where, that they might have been listening to a particular radio show that they might want to get on as far as interviews and things of that nature. So we make it real simple on the site. But they will send in like the EPK, the clean version of their song, and then someone will actually respond back to them once they review it and let them know what the next steps are, whether it be, hey, it doesn't fit what we're doing, because a lot of people don't have masters type music as well. So if we're playing Beyonce, then your song, and then just say Megan Thee Stallion, and your song don't sound right, you'll definitely hear the difference in it, when it comes to that type of order.
Yeah. Now, is your radio station personality driven, or is it just autopilot where people can go on and listen to nonstop commercial free music without the personalities?
Oh, no. We have 14 different shows. So we just, like Monday through Friday, we have shows. So like Monday, we have 3 shows. Tuesday, we have 1 show. Wednesday, we got 3 shows. Thursday, we got 3 shows. And Friday, we have to do 4 or 5 shows. So we do have shows that's scheduled throughout the week. On the weekend, it's more or less just radio stuff, whatever, or we'll have like live remotes at different places. But yeah, we definitely have 13, 14 shows throughout the week.
Nice. So artists, make sure you bring your A game when you are coming in contact with the Konnected. We got him on the telephone lines. Kevan, Mr. Konnected Glover with Sean Garvey, the BV Mobile Apps podcast. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about how to start your own multimedia company from the ground up. Now, let's segue to the magazine side of the Konnected. It's so funny because French Montana, you mentioned earlier, he said, hey, if you can get me on the cover of your magazine, I would do this for you. And with magazines, the thing is, people want to see, when they get that magazine, people want to see who really is that person on the cover, and how does that person stand out from everyone else on the magazine. That's the main feature. With your magazine entity within the Konnected company, what does your magazine division offer? What does it offer to readers?
Oh, what we basically do is the covers is always celebrities. I tell people, you got a lot of local cats who be like, oh, I want the cover. I said, but it doesn't sell the magazine once we, put out the new issue. So we're always writing different articles. We literally just dropped one July 4th. So within there, it was, talking about what's going on with all the racial tension out here right now. All the legends that we lost so far, your Kobe Bryant, your Little Richards, your Andre Harrell. We also feature different artists in there who's coming up, who's making noise in their respective areas who Atlanta may not have heard about, whatever, but it's a guy from Detroit who's making a lot of noise. So we try and tie some of that stuff in because we're actually in 21 different markets. So when we're putting that stuff out, it has to reach that different demographic and different areas, so that way it doesn't seem local. And that was one of the hardest things that we did. So when I first started my magazine, it was actually called Carolina Artist Magazine. And that was a mistake I made when I first came out, because if you was in New York or Atlanta, why are you trying to advertise the Carolina Artist Magazine? So I had to switch that whole format up with that. And once we went to the Konnected, everything just opened up a lot more. So we have the advertising in from different areas. Like you guys, we appreciate you guys because you guys did the app for us. So that was another way for people to be able to reach and read what we have going on as well, because we do a lot of blogging as well on our website and app for some of the things that did or didn't make the magazine as well. So it's a wide variety of things. And we also rate different music, kind of like how the Source used to do with the 5 mics.
Yeah.
So we do stuff like that as well. Instead of 5 mics, you get 5 Ks. So we got different things like that we do as well with the new artists and the artists that's, seasoned in the game.
And I was just going to ask you, because it's so interesting, you brought up the Source. How does your magazine company, or the magazine side of the Konnected, how is it different from all the other magazine publications that have came before the Konnected?
One of the biggest things that I personally think is it's just a real dope blend of indie and mainstream. 1, 2, I know the Source, until Snoop and them really had it, was more East Coastish. And that was Benzino's area and where he was from, whatever. And then it's just nothing negative in there. So we don't promote anything negative at all. So you won't see anything negative in my magazine. We have enough of that with all the other platforms that's created to create that divide. But within this magazine, we're promoting the positive stuff, let people know what's going on. And now if it's some news, we'll let you know the news, but we're not promoting anything negative or trying to start any feud with anybody or add any more gas onto a fire that's already lit.
Yeah, so it's more positive. It's more, you talking about who the artists are, what the artists are doing, as opposed to igniting or spreading rumors about anybody in the industry for clout, basically.
Yeah, we ain't got time for that. We just try to do everything organic, man. Like, I got 2 daughters, they started some of their companies, so some of their stuff is in there. So we have kid things in there as well. So it's like, say, there's no customer at our radio station. Anything that we do within any of our company, 25% of it goes to our nonprofit. So that's how we're able to give scholarships away to kids who are selling the arts and things of that nature. So I can't have it where one part of the company is, negative or new type stuff, because it'll affect everything else that we have going on.
Now, do you host or put together any events that are backed by the magazine company? Because I've seen events out in the community where magazines are being promoted. Do you do that type of thing within the magazine division?
Oh yeah, we do a lot of different stuff. Like, usually we have the magazine release parties. We'll do different things, and like I said, whenever an issue comes out, we'll throw different events and give back to the community when we're doing it. And like, one of the big things with the magazine is we went down to the Jet magazine size, so it's a lot easier for people to be able to transport, as opposed to when we had the big old 8.5 by 11, and the people just love it. And I've been over to people's house where they have, remember how they had like the ride on and all that stuff back in the day?
Yeah.
They put it on the wall, like it's nostalgic. And I'm gonna have to send you a picture of my office, man, so you can kind of see. But it's nostalgic. It reminds me of when we was growing up and seeing, the new issue. We got LL, he got his Rock the Bell, so it's cool to see people send us pictures of them taking stuff out of the magazine and putting it on their walls like we used to do back in the day.
Now, there's a familiar term out there called retraction. in magazines, publications, and even in newspapers, you have the writer that would write an article or write about something pertaining to an artist, an entertainer, and it may not be true. And that causes the writer to retract something that he or she wrote in that particular publication. Have you ever came across that mistake? And if so, what is your advice for any writer of a magazine company who have to go back and retract something or put something out there that may not be true?
Yeah, we've never went through that. I've definitely seen that several times with some other magazines, and one of the biggest things is some people just try and push the envelope so much that they just do anything for the story. You see it all the time on social media.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they'll do anything for those likes, those comments, you know, and within our organization, man, you know, like I said, it's family organization, so they know we're not going for that type of stuff. And the people that we got, I need to know exactly that this is what happened. Where did you get this from? So you know, when the head sets the standard on what you're doing, because you got to remember, a lot of those companies, they got you searching for all that stuff and trying, and so much pressure on you that you almost got to make some of the stuff up if ain't nothing going on. We don't have that type of environment. Hey, find some positive. So hey, who graduated? Hey, who's doing something in the community? Hey, this artist, you know, gives funding towards this. So we don't have anybody trying to sit there and outshine each other and or trying to create a story that shouldn't even be created.
Now, promo models, something that you also provide to your followers and people that are connected and still connected with you and the company, the Konnected. Promo models, we see them all the time on social media, IG, Facebook, you name it. And so with promo models, what are their roles? I guess, what are their roles within the Konnected, within the company, and how does your company market and promote the models that are a part of your organization?
Yeah, so we have another thing in the magazine. Remember, Beauty of the Week? We got a thing we do called the Kitten Corner, where it's like our model corner where we showcase models. So even when we're doing like mixtapes, so instead of using that stock model, we have our own models that we can use. So when a lot of artists are always shooting videos, so they'll come to us for models as well. As far as that, we do different commercials. So some people want to have commercials, you know, with their businesses with models as well. And then you have some people where, whether it be in the nightlife, where they just want some models to sit and look good up in VIP. You know, whenever you got some lovely ladies, the guys and the girls gonna come out with situations like that. So it's just another enhancement. You know, I call it the sugar on top of the cake. To just, you know, to season it up some.
Yeah. What do you look for in a model or in a particular person that wants to be a promo model in the Konnected?
Yeah, I really try and find new faces. And it's somebody who's not starstruck, and somebody who does it more as wanting to be a career as opposed to just thinking of IG models was popping or a bottle girl, so to speak. A lot of that stuff has gotten misconstrued. You know, if I see people, they out here paying for photo shoots to get done and doing that, they're taking a lot more serious than just a girl who, you know, who want to shoot me this week and everything she do is nude or next to nude. So
it's a certain type of synergy that they have to put out there to be a part of the organization.
Yeah, cause like I said, we're a community type organization, so you can't be out there talking all ratchet online. Okay. I mean, you can't be out there wilding out, because like I say, some of these girls, you know, we had to just not deal with. They were real cute, had a nice follow, whatever, but they curse all day online. They just keep stuff going. You know, they smoking weed online, like that. You know, that's just something that we don't condone. Now, what you do in the privacy of your own home, I can't control that, whatever. But when you represent a company, you have to be a certain way.
Yeah. Okay. So, what advice? What other tips can you give to a person who wants to get into that industry and wants to be a model for your organization? What other tips can you give them?
one of the biggest tips I give models is know what you want to do, because a lot of them don't understand. A lot of these photographers just want to really see you naked, you know, and you have to have some type of, you know, morale within yourself to know what you want to do. But there's so many different types of model. You might be a model that's in fashion. You might be a model that's in print. You might be a model that, because, you know, sometimes you're short. So you have to know what type of model you're going to do, because they're not going to put a 4'11" girl on the runway, you know. So it's sitting down and seeing and studying who you want to be. So just like a basketball player sitting and Kobe studied Jordan, he knew who the type of person he wanted to be. Find that model that you want to be and see the steps that they took to try and get to their success, and see how you can kind of, I won't say emulate it, whatever, but know the strides that you have to go through in order to get that successful level.
All right, so we talked about radio, we talked about magazine, we also talked about promo models, but we also have to talk about the DJs, because they are very important to the culture, to everything in entertainment, especially when it comes to multimedia entertainment companies. And with DJs, do you cater to well-known, established DJs or up-and-coming DJs, or both?
You got to do both. You know, you love the Kid Capri's and all of them, but you need, like my DJ Monday nights, you know, the cats are more local, whatever, because one, they're in tune with a lot of the stuff that's going on in those local regions that just say a bigger DJ wouldn't even know about. Especially when you're doing radio, it's cool to be able to, you know, break that song or play that song that nobody else played, and then hear it, you know, a month later. Oh man, we've been playing that the whole time. They just now catching on, you know, because like I said, with you know, like FM radio right now, they only can really play 12 songs a day. If you listen to it within an hour, you can hear that song at least 2 or 3 times. So we're able to get ahead of the curve with a lot of that stuff, whatever. But, you know, both of them are definitely needed, and, you know, neither more than the other.
Age limit. What is the age limit, or is there an age limit for DJs in the event that you want to hire more DJs to the Konnected? Is there an age requirement?
No, we got our youngest DJ, he came to me when he was 13. And then we got a DJ that's, I think my oldest DJ might be like 56. So it's really no, it's just having a love for what you want to do. Like, my thing with everybody is this: what you really want to do. If it's what you really want to do, I'm gonna help you reach, you know, the goal as much as I can as to what you want to do. But I'm not gonna do it more than what you gonna do it. So I need to see you DJ. I need to see you put mixtapes. I need to do, you know, doing the stuff, whatever, for us to continue to work together. Because at the end of the day, my thing is to help amplify what you have going on, not to sit there and light the fire up under you every day.
Queen City Music Awards. Once again, that's Queen City Music Awards. You mentioned a little bit about that earlier in the podcast. And with the Queen City Music Awards, because we've seen music awards a dime a dozen all the time, and they've been going on for years and years and years. What is so special about the Queen City Music Awards through the Konnected organization?
I think, and we dropped the music out of it a couple of years ago, but I think the dopest thing about the award show is we bring all genres of music together under one roof, all nationalities under one roof, and we never have a problem. So some people are like, oh man, you can't have gospel, hip-hop, R&B, country, and rock all in the same building and everybody enjoying it. So we do it every year. And then on top of that, what we do is with the proceeds, we give away scholarships. So in 4 years with the award show, our foundation has given away 228 scholarships. So we're very, very proud of the award show and what it does, because we recognize the people in the community. We give away the awards and trophies, but we're also helping some kids who may not have the financial ability with their household to be able to do some of the different things that we provide for them.
Now, it's the Queen City Music Awards. Is it televised or not televised?
We've televised it several times, but what we're doing this year, well, this year is probably going to be very unique with the with the virus. And we watched the BET Awards the other day. Everything was pretty much a green screen. So we've been talking about it may be going like that this year if we can't, have the full occupancy, because, we're only in phase 2 and it's going backwards right now. So, even with me being from Buffalo, if I air it on the local radio station around here, people still want to see it online. So we've been in the process now of creating our own TV guide type thing that we're working on, that'll be launched in September. So that way a person can just come to our website, click on it, and watch it.
I love it. It's the new wave of how we look at things digitally. And that brings me to my next question, actually, with COVID-19 still in effect. And we've seen what COVID-19 has done for a lot of entertainment companies, where people have gone even more viral than ever before and doing their content virtually from their own home. With your entertainment company, the Konnected, how do you manage your operations during the COVID-19 pandemic? How do you manage it, and how has it survived over the past few months?
Man, I'm not going to lie to you. The first month was real difficult because it was something I've never experienced, not being able to do anything. If I'm sick, my staff still can run it and do something, but for everything just to shut down, and we still haven't been able to do events in 3 months. So that was difficult as far as that. But we have actually at our radio station, we have like a common area room where we can maybe have 50, 60 people in there or whatever. So what we're doing now is we're creating different things to social distance, whatever. So it might be an artist performance without having an actual crowd in there. So that way we can still keep the name going. So that's one of the biggest things. I've seen a lot of people out here where their doors are closing because they're not able to throw events. And then a lot of people don't have the funding anymore to advertise. So money just all the way around has just plummeted. And then you got some people throwing events illegally and get their doors shut down. So that's the thing we're having a multimedia company where, we're not doing events like we used to, but we have the magazine, the radio station, the management, the marketing, the consulting to help keep that stuff, afloat while the one section of our company is suffering because of what's going on.
Yeah, I can definitely imagine. And with COVID-19 being the new normal, if you will, and doing things differently before than when COVID-19 kicked in, with your staff, because we've seen companies let go of a lot of people, with your entertainment company, have you came across the situation where you had to let some people go, or were you able to still keep everyone intact during this pandemic?
Well, fortunately, we was able to keep everyone. We did lower some hours in working, because it wasn't a need as much as what we were doing before, because we weren't, there's no going out of town, no throwing events and tours and all that different stuff right now. But fortunately, we was able to keep everyone on the team and keep them going. Everybody's, doing okay. It's picking up a little more now with people kind of, like you say, the new normal. It's not as much panic, so to speak, as it was when we first started. That's just the grace of God. I mean, I definitely give God the credit for that. That would have been difficult sitting there telling someone, we have to let you go because of it.
Now, what is your advice to startup businesses? What is your advice to them when it comes to building a business from the ground up and managing their company, maintaining it, and having to overcome different obstacles and challenges, or even natural disasters and events like COVID-19? With what all it takes to start a business, and we covered a lot of layers in this podcast, what is your advice to those business owners that want to build a startup company from the ground up and turn it into a multimedia company?
Yeah, one of my biggest things now, since we've had this happen, is it recession proof? Is it, can you do it from your house if worst case scenario happens? Because you got to think, if you sit there and you borrow X amount of money from the bank and COVID happened, the bank's still wanting their money. The landlord at your office still wanting his or her money. So it's having that reserve of money, one, to be able to fall back on if something was to happen. But it's also figuring out how to recession-proof your business. And, like I say, everybody's going online now doing different things. Can you still maintain keeping those orders and things of that nature while that is actually going on? The COVID definitely woke up a lot of different scenarios in my mind that honestly I never thought about because we just never went through this experience. And I tell everybody now, if the hustler doesn't come out of you right now during the COVID, it's never going to be in you. And, when you're starting that business out, you want to have that plan. Okay, if this happens, this is my plan B. If this happens, this is my plan C. And have that plan all the way down to about F, so that way you thinking of the different scenarios, because nothing is perfect, and you've got to be planning for some of those woe moments. And you also got to make sure you have something to fall back on if that woe moment actually happens. Make sure that, like I said before, that you're protecting yourself and your business is structured the way where it doesn't affect your personal.
Right.
Now they're coming to get your house or whatever. Because I've watched people, man, unfortunately lose their house during the situation. And you hear them saying, hey, well, you don't have to pay this. We're going to put that on the back end. Okay, it's the back end time now. So somebody hasn't made money for 3 months. I got a friend, he's a barber, and his wife is a hairstylist. They couldn't make money for 3 months. And they didn't get any unemployment because the way their business was structured. So you go 3 months without making money, something will be cut off. And now once that 3 months is over, 3 months of mortgage is due, 3 months of energy, 3 months of, all this stuff is due. And they didn't have it.
You got to have that backup plan.
Yeah, you got to encourage people that, like, I can't say that enough, man. You got it, and it's easier said than done. But sometimes you don't get those joys. Sometimes you don't buy the 65-inch TV. Sometimes you don't go out to eat every night. You got to have that reserve because that dark time can come, and that's the difference between, staying around or folding and having something good and to just let go because of, the materialism. I know people out here driving Benzes and living with their moms just to look good, as opposed to getting their business going the way it should and put that money towards something that's a lot more important than that particular car.
So the BV Mobile Apps podcast has given you some great information on how to start your own multimedia company. And speaking of BV Mobile Apps, you, of course, have the app, which is available to everyone at their disposal. Talk to us a little bit about the app.
Yeah, the app is dope, man. Like I said, I appreciate y'all. We had a radio station on there. We had a different blogging on there. The music topics, our events is listed on there. We're in the process now of getting our live feed on there, so when we go live, for people to be able to see what we're doing on the app as well. You have our YouTube tied into there. Follow us. Has our phone number so they can reach the radio station or the magazine. Y'all definitely created a real dope app for us.
Yeah. And the contact information is on the app, but just in case, do you want to go ahead and give our BV Mobile Apps podcast listeners your contact information and how they can follow the Konnected?
Yeah, you can follow us on all social media at the Konnected, and that's Konnected with the K. And then our actual phone number is 1-855-566-6328. That's 1-855-666-6328. And like I said, we just try and do positive things, try and do great business, and we're definitely a cornerstone and pillar in the community. So if you guys are serious about your business and want to go to the next level or need some advice on something, don't hesitate to call or reach out to us. And our website is actually thekonnected.net as well.
All right. And I'm just going to leave the BV Mobile Apps podcast listeners with a quote that you mentioned recently. And that is, quote, "I just want to leave a legacy that will not die when I do," end quote. And that came from you, the one and only Kevan Glover. And that is so true. And that is so powerful. That's why it's important to learn the information that we are providing to you today, so that way you can create a legacy one day and leave it behind to the next generation to keep it preserved.
Oh yeah. That, like I said, that's, sometimes you won't reap the benefits of what you've done, but sometimes it's the people that come behind you that understand that, hey, his whole life was created towards helping and bettering what we're doing.
Mr. Konnected, Kevan Glover, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak to our BV Mobile Apps podcast listeners. We truly appreciate it. And best of wishes in your endeavor. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more come out of the Konnected. And I would love to see what it will look like even more in 5 years from now.
Oh, man, I appreciate, like I say, you taking the time out to interview me and, let me give the game to some of the people who's coming up, man. And I definitely support what you guys have going on. And I just love to see us doing positive things and creating good energy and giving people something that they can actually use, that can actually create some type of legacy for them and their family.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Konnected. We will stay in touch. And thank you for calling in to the BV Mobile Apps podcast.
All right, have a great day.
All right, that has been Mr. Konnected himself for calling in to give us some great information on how to start your own multimedia company right here on the BV Mobile Apps podcast with your host, the architect Sean Garvey. Now, if you want more information about how to get your app customized, all you have to do is go to bvmobileapps.com. That's bvmobileapps.com for more information. And don't forget to send us an email letting us know what you thought about today's podcast. Send us an email to podcast@bvmobileapps.com. That's podcast@bvmobileapps.com. Sean Garvey on all your social media, Sean Garvey on Facebook, and Sean Garvey ATL on Twitter and on Instagram. Until then, I will talk to you guys later. Take care, and don't forget to click the subscribe button on the YouTube at BV Mobile Apps. Thank you for tuning in to the BV Mobile Apps podcast, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.
It's a new year. It's a new day. We're starting it over. Starting the day.
Thank you for listening to the BV Mobile Apps podcast with your host, Sean Garvey. For more information about BV Mobile Apps, visit the website, bvmobileapps.com. Don't forget to follow BV Mobile Apps on social media at BV Mobile Apps. Tune in again next time on the BV Mobile Apps podcast.